555.
Okay, a couple disclaimers. Top 5 teams with returning QBs. The first one is, I don't know what Max Duggan's going to do. I think he can return. We think he can return, but I didn't leave him on this list because I'm just saying for the part of this exercise, he's not coming back. The other thing is I put a lot into this, and I got to a point where I was stuck and there were 6 guys, and I could not split hairs between numbers 2 to 5 or 6. So there is a tie for 5th.
No, we don't do that.
It's a tie for 5th. It's a tie for 5th.
It's your deal.
It's a tie for 5th. I'm the sole member of this committee, so I decided there's a tie for 5th. And that tie at 5th is Jordan Travis at FSU and Michael Penix Jr. at Washington. 10-2 Washington, 9-3 Florida State. Both these guys coming back, and if you look at the transfer recruits that are pouring into these two schools right now, it is very telling that there are guys that want to come there and play with these two quarterbacks because it's established, especially the skill positions. Florida State's got 3 guys in already. They're having a big week this week. Washington has got visit after visit after visit, and it's mostly on the offensive side of the ball, and it's because of the quarterbacks right there. And the way both these guys finished out the season too, Jordan Travis on national television the day after on Black Friday, Michael Penix also really, I think, kind of helps that in regard because they were kind of alone in their games by themselves in the Apple Cup and the Sunshine Showdown or whatever we call it now. So
both are damn good quarterbacks.
Yeah, really fun, really kind of similar skill sets as well. Number 4, Will Howard at Kansas State. Why put Will Howard over those other guys?
I was going to ask that very question.
I'll tell you why. Only because Will Howard is the reason, and I believe his team was in the conference championship game, and those other 2 guys didn't get their teams there. So, Will Howard, if Adrian Martinez, who was having a good year, if he gets hurt, I kind of think that maybe Kansas State would have been 1 game out of it and not into it because Will Howard completely changed how their offense was.
Well, he was sacked, Martinez, early on against Baylor, and he kind of froze up on a 4th down. He got sacked and never played again.
Yeah.
And Howard then helps them go on and destroy Baylor defense as well, and that was when they gave him the keys to the car.
Now, if you're asking me which guys I'd rather have, I would put Will Howard below it, but the dude won a conference title and the other ones didn't. So he gets conference title bump here.
Yeah, I mean, by the time next year's done, he may not be behind those guys in regards to certain things either. I mean, we have yet to see him play a full season and be the starter for a full season. But, yeah, when he has played, he's been impressive, and he's been a difference maker for them. And I don't think, to your point, I don't think they win the Big 12 with Adrian Martinez as quarterback. I don't. I think that they get beat by TCU if they even get to that game, which I'm not sure that they do. So, I mean, I definitely think he deserves a spot on the list. You know, like any other list, people can debate who's 5 or who's 4 or whatever. But, yeah, he's definitely deserving. He's Deuce Vaughn should be back next year. I mean, you would think. People say, no, he's going to go to the NFL. I mean, I guess if, it's now or never, but I don't see him being a super high draft pick, but it's also a running back. So, I mean, maybe he goes just because, you're not going to gain any ground. Deuce Vaughn's not going to grow 3 inches and be a first-round pick or something. And even if he grew 3 inches, he might still not be a first-round pick.
Only going to be one, I think.
Bijan's like a borderline top 10 guy, just depending on how the order goes. He could go top 5, he could go top 10, but he's not a lock in the first round by any means. So, Deuce Vaughn, that'll be a key one to watch, but Will Howard's a good player.
Yeah, and he's the one who messed up the list. I had the list done, and before I hit send, I said, let me look back real quick because I feel like I'm leaving somebody out. And I knew if I left Will Howard out, people would, question the credibility of this list because, he's coming back and they won the conference title. Number 3, Cam Rising. He beat another guy on this list twice.
Oh, yeah.
So, and look, he's tough as nails. I really love watching Cam Rising play. I wonder if at any point Texas is like, man, we really ran that guy off because he's really fun to watch. Tough, really embodies Kyle Whittingham, which is probably better that he did because Kyle Whittingham and Cam Rising seem to work well together. And it took Kyle Whittingham a long time to come around on Cam Rising, and only really had to do it because Charlie Brewer got hurt. So,
yeah, no, kind of weird that Charlie Brewer was starting to begin with there when you really look back on that. But yeah, Cam Rising's a good player. I mean, there were times this year where he was definitely dinged up and, not being able to play at as high a level as you would like. But he finished with a very nice, stat line. Definitely was a leader for them and definitely totally changed the kind of the feel on them last year when he took the reins. So yeah, I mean, he could in theory go to the draft, but he's not going to be a super high pick based on what we know right now. Probably a day 2, 3-ish type of guy. Yeah. So like a late day 2 and then into the day 3 probably. So yeah, I would expect he probably comes back because I think they're going to be hyped up for next year. I know they've already lost like a couple guys, like Thomas, I think already declared. Yeah, he
Phillips.
did. Yeah, Phillips. But yeah, no, he's a good player, and Utah's a super tough team, man. So they're going to be, I think, itching to get back, and with him back, that'll be big.
Yeah. Number 2, another conference champion here, J.J. McCarthy from Michigan. This is the guy Jim Harbaugh's been waiting on. I mean, Cade McNamara helped to win last year, but J.J. McCarthy's just a more talented player. And you can do more with J.J. McCarthy than you can with Cade McNamara. Cade McNamara is an upgrade at Iowa at quarterback, but J.J. McCarthy won this job and won it for a reason because he's a really good player. And he has the kind of swagger that you need to be the quarterback for multiple years at Michigan. I really think he's something special that they have there and that they have not had in a very, very long time. Like since Denard Robinson, and he was a different kind of player, but they haven't had a guy with that kind of, captivating leadership like J.J. McCarthy has.
By the way, going back to Cam Ryan, that Utah-Penn State bowl game, if things stay as is, that should be a pretty fun game. Well, Utah will be going for their 3rd straight Pac-12 title.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's all since the Charlie Brewer, Cam Rising move. That's pretty crazy.
Early last year,
Yeah, McCarthy, I mean, he proved himself to be the guy. That's why he's going to be – does Iowa play Michigan next year?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, he won the job, and he proved why he won the job, and here they are in the playoff. Them and TCU is going to be super fascinating game to see, and I mean, he's a stud. So Harbaugh's got, I mean, compared to where we were like a couple years ago, to where the thoughts about is he going to the NFL again? He's flirting with pro teams, or they can't beat Ohio State, to where they are now. I mean, now you're beating Ohio State. You're in the playoff. You're favored to probably go play for a national title. You've got your quarterback. They've got it set up really well in Ann Arbor right now. I mean, the Wolverines are definitely back.
Yeah. By the way, I actually would compare Blake Shapen's skill set very similarly to J.J. McCarthy and what they athletically can do.
Right.
But J.J. McCarthy right now has this little bit of a bump there. And I think Blake Shapen would be wise to maybe watch him a little bit and see because they're very similar, very, very similar in what they can do athletically.
Yeah, Michigan does play Iowa next year, by the way.
Okay,
yeah,
that should be a fun one. Number 1, no-brainer, the Heisman Trophy winner, Caleb Williams. Even though he's one of 3 non-conference champions on this list, he still is the Heisman Trophy winner, and he's still coming back, and he will, based on what we've seen, inspire tanking in the NFL like no one in decades has. There will be teams that shut guys down for ankle sprains in September because they're like, no, we got to get rid of this quarterback and get Caleb Williams.
I got to correct myself. I lied. Michigan does not play Iowa next year, unless I guess it would be in the conference championship game. I saw the basketball schedule, so my fault on that one. But yeah, I was thinking we were going to get a battle of Michigan QBs there. So nope, that would have to be somewhere else. But yeah, Caleb Williams. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The dude's an absolute stud and number 1 overall type pick in the making. And I would be curious to know if he could go right now, where he would be viewed in the draft.
He would be the first pick.
I mean, if you need a quarterback, yeah. But yeah, the number 1 quarterback, you would think so. But yeah, I mean, the dude is a star. I mean, you saw once he got hurt in that championship game, how Utah came rallying back, and he's a good one, man. I mean, kind of goes without saying. But, yeah, he's a star, and you're reigning Heisman Trophy winner trying to be Archie Griffin next season and be the first to win back-to-back, which would be pretty incredible because that's not something I thought I would ever see. As much as there's things out there in sports like I've never seen a Triple Crown winner and horse racing. I've seen some of those things now. Never thought I'd see a back-to-back Heisman winner because it's just hard to make that happen, but he's having a damn good chance to do so.
We've had some pretty good people have that opportunity, too.
Yeah.
It's just not it just haven't happened.
Yeah, but by the way, no, I did not put Quinn Ewers on this list because
I was going to ask about
no,
him.
I mean, look, he's a good player, but he was not near as accomplished as anybody else on the list.
No, not even close.
He wasn't. I also, Spencer Rattler is coming back to South Carolina, so that's one that would be further down the list. Don't know about Tulane. Don't know about, Wake Forest. Like, Sam Hartman might be on my list just because I like him so much, but I don't know if he's returning to that team. There's too much scuttle. But these guys are, if they're coming back, and if Cam Rising is the only one in this group that could potentially change his mind at this point,
They also played huge roles in their teams being wildly successful. I'd say Texas leaned more on Bijan and defense than they did Quinn Ewers in any way, shape, or form. Quinn's, I understand the draft talk with that guy because it's been happening since he was at South Lake Carroll, but he doesn't deserve to be on every NFL. He needs to actually prove some stuff first, and these guys have proven far more at this point.
All right, final score